Good evening, students. Today I will proceed from the same chapter that is democracy and equality. Okay. In earlier we have shown the ingredients of the preamble. We will continue from the same ingredients. Okay. So today we will start the topic republic. Okay. What is republic? First, see, democracy are of two types: indirect and direct. Whether democracy is direct or indirect, there is one head of the state. Okay. Who is called head of the state? Who takes decisions, who maintains rules and regulations, who gives guidance. Okay, that is only called head of the state. So whether the democracy is direct or indirect, there is one head of the state. And what is direct democracy? In which people participate directly in policy making, and in indirect people participate indirectly in policy making. Now the question arises, how this head of the state is selected. So there are two criteria of selecting this head of the state. First one is monarchy and second one is republic. Okay. Now see here, monarchy. What is generally monarchy? The position of the head of the state is hereditary. It means that it goes on generation to generation. Suppose son's father is head of the state, then his son will become next head of the state. This process will goes on. Okay, it will go on generation to generation. First father and his son becomes head of the state, then son of son becomes, then son of son becomes. This process goes on. Okay, it is hereditary. So where this process is adopted, that state is called monarchy. In monarchy, son of the head of the state will only become next or future head of the state, and the best example is Britain. So in monarchy, the son of the head of the state, he is suppose his father and he is his son. So he will only become the next head of the state. Then in next generation his son will become, then his son will become. This process will goes on. Okay. Now come to the topic republic. In republic, head of the state is elected by the people. Okay. What happens in the head of the state? Here it was not, we do not elect any people, only it is a process. It is hereditary that son of the head of the state will only become next head of the state. But this is not in the case of republic. What happens here? The head of the state is elected by us. We, the people of India, elects the head of the state. And the best example is India. See, there is quite a difference between monarchy and republic. In a monarchy, the head of the state comes into office through suggestion, and in a republic, the head of state is always elected directly or indirectly for a fixed period. There is no time period for monarchy, but there is fixed period for the head of the state in republic. Okay, republic in India, there will be elected head who is called president. In India, whoever is the head of the state, he is only called the president. Okay. Now come to the topic socialist. Earlier I have told that how this word socialist was added in the preamble. It was added through 42nd amendment. Okay. These words were added. The society where you live, that is in modern society there are two types of economic system. What do you mean by economic system? Anything related to your economic activities, anything related to money or related to financial condition. Economic system shows how a people get their earning or their way of earning money. Okay. So this economic system are of two types, capitalist and socialist. Now come to the topic capitalist. What happens in capitalist? In a capitalist economy, industry and trade are controlled by private owners. What to produce, how much to produce is all decided by the individuals who owns the company. In fact, the price of the product is also decided by the owners of the company itself. There is no interference of government. So on the whole, we can say that everything, whether it is price or what should be the price of a product or how it should be produced or how it should be produced, what to produce in which quantity it should be produced, it is all decided by the owner of the company. There is no interference of government. Suppose take one private hospitals and one government hospitals. What happens in private hospitals? In private hospital, doctor used to earn more and more profit, but in government hospitals, doctor used to treat their patients free of cost. Okay. So in private, we can tell that the main profit motive, the main aim is to earn profit, but in public sector, but in public hospital, what we see that government looks after the needs of all people, so that poor patients can also be treated. Okay, so there is a basic difference between public and private hospitals. The government looks after the needs of all people. All patients are treated equally and free of cost in government hospitals, but in private hospitals patients have to pay fees. Okay, so the main aim of doctor in private hospital is to earn more profit, but in government hospitals the aim of the doctors is to see the welfare of the people. Okay, now come to the term socialist. Decision of distribution and production are in the hands of government. Government planning team checks what? Production capacity of factors. Survey. Government checks what are the needs of people and what are their concerns. Government also analyzes spending data of consumers. Money invested by consumer more or less. Government decides what should be production targets and how these targets are revised by corrective feedback. What should be the price of commodities decided by the government. Thus, this economy thinks about social welfare, it thinks about all people. Government thinks about profits of all individuals. So, we can see here that here in socialist economy all decisions are taken by the government. There is no interference of the private sector. Government checks what is the production capacity of factories, means what are the ways to increase the production. Okay, government also sees what are the needs of the people. If they are in need, then government tries to help him or her. Okay, the government tries to helps him or her in every field. Government never tries to neglect their needs. Government always sees the welfare of the people. Here the price of the commodity is decided by the government itself. Government also checks spending data. What do you mean by spending data? That the money that we have invested and the money where we have invested, either we have invested more or less. Okay, we have invested more or less, but in which product we have invested, that is called the spending data of consumers. And who checks it? Government checks. Government also decide what should be production targets, means what are the ways to increase production, and if feedback comes from many people, then government tries to implement in real life. Government also decides the price of the commodity. So on the whole we can say that the government thinks about social welfare, it thinks about all people. Okay, government doesn't do any discrimination between poor and rich. Government never neglects poor and rich people. Okay, government also always tries to helps the needy one. Okay, government thinks about profits of all individuals. Government thinks what are the ways so that the profit of one individual can be increased. Okay, in private the main motive was to earn profit, but here government is thinking about all the people's profit. But in private only one individual is thinking about his or her profit. Now the whole thing that we have just learned, that is called Marxist socialist or Soviet socialism. Only this viewpoint is called Marxist socialist or Soviet socialism. These socialists are of two types, Marxist socialist, Soviet, and now we will discuss Gandhian socialism. According to Gandhian socialism, Gandhiji believed in self-sufficient village republics. He believed that villages should be self-dependent economically and politically, and all resources of the village should be jointly owned. So, in short, we can say that Gandhiji believed that villages should be self-dependent. What do you mean by self-dependence? Any decisions regarding the problems of villagers should be solved by the villagers themselves. Okay, no interference of other party. It should be discussed between the villages itself. Okay, that what are the requirements of a people, what are the requirements of a poor people. So villages should try to solve it itself. So villages should be self-dependent, and all resources of the village should be jointly owned. Suppose I take an example of land. What happened in earlier time that Jamindars used to own a large majority of land. Government tries to own a large majority of land. Upper caste and lower caste used to own a small majority of land. So a discrimination happens between them. So according to Gandhiji, this discrimination should only be ended when all the resources of the village should be jointly owned. Thank you students. This much for today.